Yo, what's up everybody, KingGBL here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be having a look at a team that I done about 4 sets with today in the Summer Cup, featuring Turtonator, Jellicent, and Credilli. This team is actually quite decent. I got 2 4-1s, a 5-0, and I believe a 2-3 with it at the end. So like, it started off pretty well, but I had a set where I just had pretty RPS losses. In the Summer Cup, you're going to have games like that, so like, I don't think it's really like a massive bad thing for the team. Big shout out to Jacob as well, he's running this team and he's doing pretty well with it as well. It's a pretty cool team. You could probably swap Terminator for like a Typhlosion. If you wanted to go for like a Talonflame or a Charizard instead, you would be ABA weak to Electric, so you might consider putting Credilli in the lead instead, or just maybe fighting it out with Charizard in the lead if you do get like a Dedenne or something like that. But big welcome in, guys. Hope everybody's doing okay. Man, I gotta say there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world right now, which for me personally, it's just incredibly disturbing. We live in a very, very cruel world, guys. Normally these videos are more about the Pokemon and stuff like that, but you know, sometimes it's like life is bigger than this. You know, I like to think of Pokemon Go as kind of like our escape, right? Where we just kind of like play our battles, you know, we're pretend it matters, right? We pretend that it's something important. We're trying to get Elo, we're trying to hit Legend, we're trying to hit leaderboards, trying to do all these things, and sometimes just life happens, bro, and it just hits you like a ton of bricks. And I gotta tell you guys, if you're not interested in listening to this kind of subject today, this is probably not the video for you. I will be talking about what happened yesterday and all my thoughts on that. But for those of you guys who are not here for that, I completely understand that. This is maybe not the video for you, and you know what, guys, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm sick of holding back. You know, I just see so many things that go on, and I just bite my tongue. I see just the hypocrisy, man. The hypocrisy of this world is just unbelievable. I hold my tongue. I don't try to make people feel bad for what they believe in. I don't try to, like, point fingers and label people and do all these types of things. If you want to burn the world to the ground and be king of the ashes, that's how you do it. I think a lot of people out there underestimate the power of the things that you say. I think people really underestimate that. We live in a world now where we have social media. I might not sound like it. I've had a lot of life experience. I've went through a lot of ups and downs in my life, a lot of crazy stuff in my childhood, and a lot of things that are just kind of insane, which I've never really spoke about here. But what I want to tell you is, the words that you speak make such a big difference. Like, you might not realize it, and I don't always realize it too. Sometimes I say things that I shouldn't say, like just on stream, right? Like, I'll say, oh, this guy's a loser, or this guy's this, or this guy's that. We just don't understand how far our words can go, and I think that's a massive problem with the world today. People say things about people and label people as things that they're not, and the consequences of that are life and death, guys. I gotta be real with you. Really think about the things that you say, and it's something I'm really trying to work on myself. Really think about the things that you're saying and saying to other people. I'm going to quote the Bible here. Proverbs 18 verse 21. The tongue is power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Proverbs 15:4. The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but the perverse tongue crushes the spirit. Listen to me, guys. Think about the things you say before you say them. It's so, so important. Whenever you label people as bad and label them as evil, people will think they're righteous in their actions to kill people. Literally, guys, we're talking about people killing people. You call people Nazis and call people stuff like that, you don't realize the effect you're having, and I think that's why a lot of people get stirred up. I think that's why people are so stirred up, people are so angry, people are just like, just bouncing from one thing to the next. And guys, let me tell you, it's the people who are above us who try to stir this in us and try to use it for their own gain. What I'm going to say to you is, guys, don't be brainwashed by the things that you get told. Think for yourself. If people tell you that somebody is something, go look at it for yourself. If you don't agree with them, that's fine. That person does not deserve to get assassinated for what they believe in. Guys, I want you to really think about that. Imagine if it was the other way around. You know, try to put yourself in their position. Imagine if it was the other way around, and if you were getting assassinated for your beliefs, and people who were saying things that you believe in and things that you think are right were getting assassinated because their opinion differs to somebody else's. What kind of world is that to live in, guys? So I just wanted to address that. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I didn't always agree with everything he said. I agree with some things he said, I disagree with others. Guys, welcome to life. You're never going to find anybody that you fully agree with. This idea that we should like cultivate ourselves and like really separate ourselves into the left and the right and this and that. Guys, it's just nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Like, we cannot live like this. Look what's happening in the world today. The world is falling apart. The world is falling apart, guys. You know, I honestly, it's the first thing I seen today whenever I woke up. Somebody literally sent me the video of it, and it just hit me just so deeply. You go online and then you see people celebrating it, of all things. Imagine going online, watching a video of somebody getting murdered, and then celebrating it and making a video. Like, the level of depravity and disgustingness that inspires is just insane. How is it that how have we become like this? How have we become this way where we will literally go online, watch an innocent father get murdered, and we're happy about it because his opinion's different to ours? What are we doing, guys? Like, seriously, what are we doing? I would say to you, if you're one of those people, I'm not here to judge you. The only person who can judge us is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in heaven. That's the only person who's going to judge me, judge all of us. But let me tell you this, if you are one of those people, I would encourage you to have a deep look in the mirror. Have a look at what's happening in the world. People are shooting up schools and churches and killing innocent children all the time. People are getting assassinated for their political views. There's wars in the Middle East. Guys, the world's a mess. Guys, the world is an absolute mess. Really ask yourself, what do you believe in? And really ask yourself, is this the way that the world should be? Honestly, guys, for me, man, it's disgusted me to the core. It shook me to the very foundation, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just shook me to the core, seeing what happened today. I woke up this morning and that's the first thing I seen, man, and like, it's just honestly unspeakable. Just wanna let you guys know, man, whether you agree with me or not, whether you disagree with me, whether you like the same things that I like or not, guys, we're human. We are more alike than we are different. Guys, remember that? We are more alike than we're different. Every single one of us, man. We might think different things, we might have different beliefs, but whether you're left or right, whatever your preferences might be, we are the same, guys. We are the same. This is just a shit show and we're living in it. So guys, I want you to really think about that, really deeply reflect on it, because I think if you deeply reflect on it, and especially if you pray, I think you'll see a lot of wrong things here. But guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope, you know, the things that are happening in the world aren't disheartening you too much. I try to, you know, I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes turn a blind eye to it. It's hard to really accept how many bad things are going on. So sometimes it's easier just to be ignorant. I think there's value in that sometimes, but yeah, man, I would just encourage you all just to, you know, take care of each other, man. That's the most important thing we can do. Look after each other. Don't be so quick to hate. Don't be so quick to label somebody and just say that they're just completely incompatible with you. That's just not the case, guys. The way that we can move forward and be better people is to talk things out, love each other, and talk things out, man. That's it. Listen, guys, if you made it this far, you know, feel free to share your thoughts. If you want to keep your thoughts to yourself, I respect that. It's completely up to you. Either way, I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. But just know this, man, if you're on this channel, if you're in my Discord, if you take part in anything that I do online, just know this, I'm not going to be here to judge you. I'm not going to demonize you for the way you live your life or your thoughts or opinions. We all have, like I said, different thoughts and different opinions, and yeah. If you're going through some stuff in your life that you're struggling to deal with, hit me up on Twitter, drop me a message in Discord, I'll be there. I do really appreciate the people that are here. I feel like I'm very, very fortunate and very blessed in that respect, where I've been very fortunate to meet some very kind people and some very, very caring people in this community. I know not everybody's going to agree with this, and people will take this and do whatever they want with it, right? You can take anything that's said with good intentions and turn it bad, or vice versa. Anything that's said with bad intentions and try to make it look good. I'm not really concerned at this point. What I will say is, those of you who are here right now, I appreciate you, and even if you're not somebody who's religious or believes in God, I pray that God finds you, I pray that you find God, and I wish nothing but the best for all of you. Alright, so since this is a Pokemon Go video, I guess we'll just do some battles here now at this point. So I'm not sure where we're at this point. I've not really been focusing on the matches. This is a funny matchup. I think if it's non-shadow, you can take a Hydro Cannon pretty nicely here, but if it's shadow, you sort of have to shield if you want to try to take this matchup. Shadow Empoleon is pretty decent. The cool thing about buff Turtonator this season is I'm calling it Terminator unironically, by the way. I just kind of call it that now. But it is so quick to the brutal swings, bro. It's straight 2s to the brutal swings, which is insanely quick. Turtonator's biggest problem was always its pacing, right? It had access to Dragon Pulse and Overheat, which were 2 nuke moves basically at the time. Dragon Pulse is now a little bit less of a nuke move. Of course it has Flash Cannon and maybe a Flamethrower as well. Brutal Swing is now 2 Incinerates and Dragon Claw's free 2. 2 for the second one. So it's much more improved, I would say. I tried to swap out there to kind of sneak an Incinerate through. All of the moves are resisted here, unless the opponent's running Crunch, they're running Discharge. That's perfectly fine. In that matchup, the opponent should go for X's are there, but by the looks of things, it doesn't matter too much. The opponent's probably weak to the Turtonator in the back, and that's good games well played. So we get a negative lead in the next one, Stunfisk, and the opponent comes into Shadow Trumbeak. I think that's what this thing's called. No, it's 2 Cannon. It's 2 Cannon. Bang, that does so much damage. I'm going to try to flip swap here. This thing is exceptionally glassy, but the looks of things, they can't quite peg us down. They do commit to a CMP tie, which of course they will win. Dude, this Pokemon is so ridiculous. I think it is very cool how They are buffing just these ridiculous Pokemon like Toucannon. So pretty negative lead, but we've got a very spicy backline. The opponent actually lets that go and lets us take swap. Quite interestingly, the opponent's on Mudshot. A lot of people in the chat, big shout out to everybody who watches the streams, they've been saying Mudshot Diggersby is the way to go in this comp. This guy seems to think Mudshot Stunfisk is the way to go. I definitely do see that in certain matchups. Unfortunately for this opponent here, this is definitely a little bit better for me with Mudshot, so I'm pretty happy with that. The opponent brings in Dodrio. Dodrio comes in. What is this thing on my screen, guys? What is this thing on my screen? It is a Dodrio. They go for Drill Peck. Can I Incinerate all the way down? I think I decide to commit to just getting to back-to-back moves here and trying to get off like a Dragon Claw on the Stunfisk, which will put it very, very low. I think at this point, guys, I think we should be in a pretty okay position. We land that move right there. I go for a Brutal Swing, which I was kind of surprised how quickly I got to this next one as well. We're just a complete spam machine. I come into Jellicent, go for the Hex, and that's good games well played there. Sometimes you can trick your opponents. They'll always go for like a 1-and-fro or 2-and-fro against a 5-turn move, so it's always really nice to get in and get the snipe through there. The opponent brings in Diggersby in this matchup. We bring in Jellicent. This is definitely a very winning matchup for Jellicent. I do believe they can take 2 Surfs from full health, so I recommend if you're using this team and the opponent comes into Diggersby, probably just do like 2 or 3 Incinerates to make sure 2 Surfs will knock out here. As you can see, 2 will definitely clearly knock out. This maybe is not a great IV Diggersby unless I'm completely wrong, but I'm almost certain that this can live 2 Surfs normally, so maybe it's worth doing a few Incinerates there. Anyway, we get off the second move, the opponent lets it go, and they bring back in Caesar. They actually do throw the move before I can get off my move, disappointingly. They done 1 and swapped. The opponent is trying to maximize energy, they do another 1 and swap, and they bring in the Gastrodon. With Bullet Seed, really good matchup. With Acid, this match gets really close actually. You sort of almost have to bait them in this matchup to kind of win it, so like, I often full send because the opponent's win conditions to call a bait here. I see that the opponent's shielding it, and at this point I'm realizing like, okay, we're going to go for the 2 shield play, and then they're going to go for the catch right. The 45-second switch timer, shield twice, get off moves, and then look to basically swap out. At this point I'm just like, you know what? Earth Power me daddy, or Water Pulse me daddy. They go for the Body Slam. They come into Caesar here. We absolutely melt it here. And we can survive a Night Slash. I do decide to shield this though, because I can get off multiple moves. And because I ended up CMPing the opponent by mistake, I go for a Zero Bubble. We have an absolute ton of energy. We get 1 more Incinerate, and I'm just going to tap my moves here at this point. I have a Dragon Claw, plus a Brutal Swing banked, so we go for Dragon Claw here. We go for the Brutal Swing here. And we have a Shadow Ball banked with the Jellicent, so we're in a very good spot. Or sorry, we're almost at a move with the Cordilli, should I say. In the next battle here, we get Turtle on Turtle action. In comes Ninetales, and then we bring in the Jellicent. Guys, at this point, I just was like, bro, you're running Solar Beam. You're definitely running Solar Beam. I shielded. It is the Solar Beam that would have absolutely destroyed the Jellicent. So very, very good shield there. We go for 3 and 4 in the Surf, and we're going to look to go for 1 and 4 after this. The opponent actually lets it go, and they come back in with the Chestnut. So maybe they have something in the back that's going to be able to sweep my team. They're taking shield advantage here, which sometimes is a really good play. I try to swap out. I don't want them to farm me down, and the opponent brings in a Ferret, not a Ferret, a Dunsparce. This is definitely a negative matchup for Turtonator, but look how bulky we are. We're taking these rollouts pretty nicely, and we can actually survive 1 move here if we wanted to. So I'm not like super concerned here. I'm basically trying to misalign the clock here, trying to get off multiple moves, and try to swap back out of this matchup. I did find with this team quite often I'm just swapping in and out of matchups, not really. I'm playing quite flexibly here. The opponent calls that move, that it's not going to be a Dragon Claw. They come into the Chestnut. We don't die to 1 single move here, so I think we're in a very good position now. Superpower number 1 comes through. They build up a little bit of extra energy. Probably should have threw the move straight away to give me less farm, but I guess they just wanted to, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what they were doing. We get a full Incinerate through. Back in comes the Dunsparce. They have to throw right away. And because we've gotten them so low at this point, I can come in with Jellicent. Easily take a Drill Run here. I could just Hex all the way down, but I decide, oh, they're 1 HP. Let me go for this instead. For those of you who are pretty new to PvP, if you throw a move into 1 HP Pokemon, the shield will not save them. It does 1 HP damage for the shield, so good games well played there. In the next battle, we have a Morpeko, pretty decent lead for Turtonator, pretty terrible for Jellicent. We're definitely going to stay in here. To my surprise, this is a resisted move, but we've seen Morpeko and its shenanigans before. There's no such thing as resisted with this little rat. This thing does crazy damage, resisted or not. They come in for a snipe, get in probably 1 or 2 mud slaps there, so pretty good play by the opponent, and I made them with Cordilli. Once again, guys, if you let one of these moves go, they can take swap on you, and it's an Earth Power of all things. Traditionally, this season, people are using Water Pulse. The reason being is Earth Power 6 Mud Slaps, it's now 5 to Water Pulse. The opponent brings back in Morpeko. This resisted move's going to completely wreck me again, but we have to take it here, and we're going to look to probably get off a Rock Tomb here. We do a few extra here just in case the opponent lets it go. They still are a couple off the move here, and the opponent is shielded. I come in with this, I've got 2 moves banked, and I can get off both of these moves. Now, if the opponent wants to get this move off, they have to go for the move right away. They do not, and this resisted Brutal Swing, just as their resisted moves will do a lot to me, my resisted moves are going to do a lot to them as well. That takes them out. It's Typhlosion in the back. which is a really good matchup for Turtonator if you think about it. Double resisting Blast Burn and single resisting Thunder Punch, it's a really good matchup there. Pidgeot lead, they're using a 4-turn move, we've got a 5-turn move. It is free and throw for good timing here. Bang, we get off a Brutal Swing. The opponent will shield, of course, because their name is Pidgeot. We shield back. I probably should not shield this first move here. They do go for Air Cutter. It could have potentially been like a Brave Bird, right? Because they didn't boost, I'm happy to let this next move go. And we're going to look to fire off the move immediately. Dragon Claw always does more damage. Try to throw it if you can. You'll probably see me throwing the wrong move on occasion here. And we do take swap. The opponent comes in the Credilli, and we even get a little chip off onto this. Would have been really nice to reach the Dragon Claw. Unfortunately, we don't quite reach it. We get off a Brutal Swing here, and the opponent farms, we down with Bullet Seed. We come into our Credilli, the opponent brings into the Polymeister, and this is curtains. Folks, we're in the 1 shield. Poliwrath and the 2 shield can be stupid against this Pokemon sometimes, up energy. They go for Scald, of course they get the debuff. They get the damage and the debuff, hate to see it, but this is still so dominant for Jellicent. Now, surprisingly, I thought the opponent might actually shield that move, because Poliwrath can really be super annoying in this matchup at times. They let it go, we go for a Surf, and the opponent brings back in the Credilli. I clear my debuff, come into my Credilli. We're going to shield the first move, because of course it's a debuffing match here at this point. The opponent actually full sends a Grass Knot, respectfully. Of course I am going to shield the first move here. Grass Knot does more damage, but you probably always want to go for Rock Tomb like 9 out of 10 times, unless you know the matchup specifically. Like I think there's a matchup, I think with Ferret maybe, we're going for Grass Knot's better. There's some specific matchups where you can do that, but generally here, like this is just over, so the cope is with this one. Good games well played, we farm it all the way down. Hopping into the next battle here, we have Turtonator versus Ferret. Okay, there it is. Speaking of which, Ferret comes in. I believe in this matchup, you probably just want to go for Brutal Swing. I'm going to go for Free and Throw. Opponent will go for a Swift, most likely not Trailblazer, right? Swift, bang, we take it, we go for 1 and Throw on this. So one unfortunate thing, slightly, it's not really unfortunate, it just makes sense. If you build up to 4, it's not 1 Brutal Swing plus 1 Dragon Claw. It's free 2 for Dragon Claw, 2-2 for Brutal Swing. So you still have to do like the extra Incinerate to get that Dragon Claw off. I decided to shield one of these, get this off, and then look to try and sweep in the back with like our Jellicent or something. So yep, that's probably quite good. They come into Gyarados here. I bring in Credilli. I'm not letting them get any extra energy with Gyarados. I'm assuming this might be a Crunch. I think the opponent actually, yeah, do go for the Crunch here, and we look to go for Rock Tomb. Horny for the debuff. We go for the Rock Tomb and the opponent catches it on Fortress. I'm very happy that the opponent brings this in, because of course we're going to debuff it into Oblivion. Unfortunately, it looks like it was going to reach that move, but I just couldn't quite reach it. I do go for 1 Incinerate and Throw. The opponent could have Rock Tomb me immediately. Thankfully they don't. They no shield. We bring in Jellicent here, just so I can possibly clear the debuff later in the match. I want to swap out of that. They go for Rock Tomb. We're going to try to Hex it down. The opponent comes into Gyarados, and yeah. This is basically a bait call at this point. I decide to instantly no shield it. The opponent goes for the Aqua Tail bait, and with that, guys, that should be game over. Will the opponent call my bait, or will they let this go? They let it go. Calling the bait was their only win con at that point. Back in comes Fortress, and that's very good games well played. So I think that's the end of like the regular sets here. This might have been the 4-1 or the 5-0. Yeah, we go 5-0 in this set right here. By the looks of things, we're up to 2291. I think I went down to 2270 after the 2 free, so I'm just going to show a couple of the winning battles here. The opponent comes into Kingdra. We go for Brutal Swing. We don't really have a direct answer to this, so I decided to chip it and go to Jellicent, to maybe hex it into Surf Range or something like that. The opponent builds up to 24 here, if I remember correctly, and go for the Outrage. So I probably could have done 1 or 2 more hexes. It's 15 to Outrage. Boom, Shadow Ball comes in, the opponent no shields it, and back in comes Fortress. This is generally quite a good matchup with Bug Bite for Jellicent, so we're quite happy here. We really don't want this to be on the Credilli. In this meta, Fortress is probably one of, if not the best answer to Credilli. It's probably just much better for me to keep this alignment. They might be weak to Jelly in the back, but my hope always is with Credilli that we can just debuff whatever's in the back, deal with it with Terminator. Since the opponent was really low, I get ambitious and go for the Snipe. Unfortunately, don't quite make it, but we do get ahead in energy against the Charizard. We can take an Air Cutter here. Of course, Blast Burn is double resisted, right? That's the really good thing about this Pokemon. You guys are going to see, man, buff Charizard does really fine here. They're back-to-back moves here, if I remember correctly. I decided to throw off this move immediately to try and get this off. And to the opponent's surprise, we're only 1 Incinerate off the move here. The pacing on this is just incredible. And, you know, Turtonator, I'm not going to tell you here that it's super, super meta, best Pokemon, it's amazing, incredible Turtonator. But it is pretty cool. It's very, very cool. It's got nice coverage. The moveset's just so much better now, in my opinion, with the buff damage to Dragon Claw and the less energy that it costs compared to Dragon Pulse. Very, very cool. And yeah, definitely try out this team if you want to give it a go. I done quite well with the team. My good friend Jacob done quite well with it as well. So yeah, like I said, give it a try for yourself. If you get 5 Mudslap leads in a row, you can of course let me know in the comments down below how crap this team is, because, you know, if I got 5 Mudslaps in a row, I would say, you know what, guys, this team just isn't working. And such as Go Battle League, you get RPS'd, you think the team's terrible, you RPS somebody and it's the best team ever. Right now, guys, this is the best team ever, so hopefully it works out that way for you as well. In any case, guys, big thank you. Really appreciate y'all watching this video, especially if you were listening to the beginning part. I don't really like to like I said, share a lot of stuff on here. I try to keep it friendly, try to keep it lighthearted, and you know, again, this game is just kind of our, you know, we all have busy lives, we all have hard lives, and we've lots of things that we have to do every day. You know, this should be our escape from reality in a sense, where we could be Pokemon masters in real life, battle it out with other people online, catch Pokemon, and it's obviously an amazing game for that. You know, let that be what brings us together. Don't let the other things that we disagree on be the things that divide us. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Spoiler alert, we win this battle here. Rock Tomb coming in. Bang! Turtonator's going to come in anytime soon here. That Incinerate's going to kill an entire generation of Caesars. They actually do survive that one Incinerate. We get off the brutal swing on CMP. Had they put him boosted here, we could have lost, but thankfully they didn't. But in any case, guys, like I said, take care of yourselves. God bless every single one of you. Really appreciate all the support that you guys always have given me on this channel, and hopefully we'll continue to do so in the future. And like I said, if there's anything that I can do for you, if you're struggling with anything, my lines are open, man. Hit me up, drop me a message, and like I said, guys, take care. Catch y'all next time.